Right. So your clientele, are they mainly French, mainly English, mainly a mixture?
So majority of my clients are English because it's mainly English that come on holiday down here. And certainly for the weddings, it's mainly English people that come and hire a chateau and get married here. I do have a couple of American ones as well, but the French, I have one or two French that I have cooked for, and they're always a little bit shocked and horrified at the fact that an English person can cook. So, which always makes me laugh. But at the same time, they have hired me to do that job. But yes, it is quite nice when you can shock a French person that an English person can actually cook.
Oh, I
So
know. I know. We do have this reputation for kind of boiling everything till it subsides gently in a heap upon the hob.
yes,
And but then I understand because I think a lot of French people, especially the older generation, went to the UK at a time or often on school trips where what they were presented with was pretty awful, actually. And
yes,
I remember when my daughter went on a school trip with three of her classmates. They all stayed with a lady in London who none of them could understand because she had such a thick accent anyway. And she provided them with a packed lunch, which was an apple, a penguin biscuit, a packet of crisps, and two slices of white bread with something in the middle. And the kids were all
amazing.
hungry because they were used to eating proper food at lunchtime. So
Yes,
the first day she asked them would they like cheese or ham in their sandwiches. So they said cheese or ham or whatever. They were all hungry. The next day she asked cheese or ham. So they said, oh, cheese and ham, please, thinking they'd get two sandwiches. But no, she cut the sandwich in half and did one half cheese, one half ham. And I thought, it's not surprising that we've got a reputation for being a kind of culinary disaster.
absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I have when we first came here, well, maybe a couple of years in, when the boys were at school, and they at dinner time they'd be, "Mummy, where's my starter? Where's my dessert?" And I'd be like, "You have got to be kidding me. I've got enough on my plate to make it." They'd be like, "But we get 3 courses, sometimes 4 courses at lunchtime." I'm like,
Yeah.
"Well, aren't you lucky? I think maybe I want to come and eat at school with you."
Oh, I know. And I now live with a French chef who had a very successful restaurant that he ran for 26 years and is currently not working for health reasons, but I think may well move back into private catering because there's such a massive demand for him. And so we do get 3 courses every day, twice a day. And excuse me, on the occasions that I cook, especially for my daughter and her other half, and they come over and he'll be absolutely shocked that there is no starter. This is pas possible.
Yes,
And I'm like, but we're having a roast dinner. It's fine. No, 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 no. And there is always that culture shock. Although he's very open-minded. He now uses Marmite in his salad dressings, which I think is quite something for a Frenchman. Gives it a little,
absolutely.
yeah, I know. It gives it a little vim. I haven't managed to persuade him to eat it on toast yet, though. So we're still working. So I think my final question was going to be, have you had any catering disasters or any sort of really funny stories?
Catering disasters. I have had a few that mainly, well, pretty much never been my fault. Usually the ones I've had out here have always mainly been because of the weather. Because bride and grooms, they're always absolutely adamant on how they want their day to look. So we had one wedding a couple of years ago and they were like, we want it outside. We're going to eat outside. We have to eat outside. Like, okay, that's fine. You can eat outside, but it is going to rain. Like, are you sure? No, 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 but it doesn't. We were like, yeah, I know it looks sunny now, but at 4 o'clock it is going to rain. No, no, no. So they went ahead and they all sat down. We managed to get the starter and the main out, so that was all right. But literally, as the mains were being cleared away, the heavens opened. And you know what it's like here. It's not a light splattering of rain. It is like torrential downpour.
Yeah.
So everyone was absolutely soaking wet. And then eventually the dessert, we just had to adapt. I mean, I am quite good at adapting, which is lucky because some of these situations that you have. So we just recreated the dessert and they had to all have it standing up on the dance floor, basically. Um, I think my worst one I had last year was there was a miscommunication between the person who writes the admin who does the menu and the wedding planner. And somewhere along the lines, the wrong thing had been written for the vegetarian. Now, there were 3 vegetarians. There's always a few, that's fine. So I made what I thought I was meant to make, and it was a different dish. And then it transpired that one of the vegetarians was the bride. And the one thing that she hated was the thing that we produced. And it was just, you're just like, what do you do? What do you do? So I managed to rustle something up. But of course, by the time her meal came out, everyone had finished and she was pretty upset. And I get that she was pretty upset. But real disasters, I've luckily not much. I mean, I've had power cuts. And again, you have to just, I mean, if there's a wedding planner, you can kind of manage things. Like we had one, it was the wedding, there was a power cut. So we kind of moved where the speeches were and we made the starter go really long and slow. And then luckily the power came on and then we could do the main course because otherwise without power, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Other disasters? No, I think, yeah, those are my big ones. Oh, well, the other thing that you get out here is obviously flies. And that is like an eternal battle of trying to keep the flies off food. And
Yeah.
especially when you're having to like plate up a lot of things and you can just see them. And I have had a couple of occasions and they have managed to get on the meat and they have laid eggs and you're just like, what? And then people's portions become very small because you have to, again, adapt
Adapt,
to what you
adapt.
have got in front of you, constantly adapting. But yeah,
Yeah, I
I mean,
haven't.
I've had bad things happen, but I'm pretty good at riding with it. Again, I had a big car accident on my way to a wedding last summer,
Wow.
and I managed to roll the car with me in it down a hill with all the wedding gear in the back of the car. And the pompiers turned up and the ambulance turned up and they were like, you need to go to hospital. And I was like, I can't go to hospital. And they was like, no, you have to. I was like, well, you don't understand that I can't. I have to go to this wedding because there's no one else to do it. And I said, how about I take my husband with me? And if I collapse, then I'll get him to take me to hospital. And they were like, you're mad. And I was like, well, I'm a chef, so that's fine.
Yeah.
And I did. I went and I did the wedding. I'm not quite sure how. It was all a bit of a blur, really. But they were very happy. But I've never let something like that stop me,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I
I
know.
think also as a self-employed person, you literally have to be like dead on the side of the road for you to actually not do the job that you're meant to do.
Absolutely.
I think
Because
with
you're,
weddings as well, like it's somebody's big day. For me, I was like, I can't let them down. Like, what are they going to do? Have no food on their wedding day?
no, exactly. You've got one day and it's got to happen. And whether it's being the photographer or the chef or, whatever it is, there is no option, as you say. And being self-employed, dead on the side of the road is exactly it, because you're only ever as good as your last job. And if
Exactly.
it's so important to turn up and show up. And
And luckily for me, that story has gone round a bit. So
I
people are like, oh,
bet,
well, she's literally gets in a car crash and she still turns up for work. So
yeah, no,
it's kind of
exactly.
worked a little bit in my favour.
Very positive PR, that one. The
Yeah.
yeah, you could change your name from Simper's Kitchen to something like, I don't know, the car crash chef or something. Yeah, no,
I don't know about that.
yeah, no, that's got a kind of bad connotation, hasn't it? Um, no, that's really great. So no major, and flies. Yeah, I hadn't thought about flies, but yeah, that must be a massive
Yeah.
problem. I do remember actually as a kid here, my mum would she used to travel a lot for work. She would always collect those shower caps you used to get in hotel rooms and bring them out and then pop them over all the plates of food before they went outside to the table to keep the flies off.
I
And I
mean,
always thought she was insane, but I can actually see the logic in the shower caps.
absolutely great idea. But when you're doing a wedding for 100 people, you don't have
You'd need a
100
lot of
shower
shower
caps.
caps. Yeah.
And you try the fans and this, that, and the other, but it's just you just have to work really, really quickly.
Yeah, no, I bet because the flies here are something else. They're, turbocharged super flies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, and I have one last question, which is in terms of supplies and where you get your ingredients from, do you have a kind of really good network now of people that you go to, or, do you source stuff locally, or how does that
Oh,
work?
you know what? It really depends. It really depends. If it's a small dinner or something smaller, yeah, I'll go to the local butchers or markets or this, that, and the other. But obviously, if it's larger scale, then you go larger scale because
Yeah.
there's a couple of really, really good. I don't know. Would you call it cash and carry? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, where all the restaurants go to, so the quality of the food is really, really high and really
yeah.
good. It's no Breaks Brothers, put it that way,
Yes,
which was
yeah, yeah, yeah.
really low end freezer food catering for
Oh, I
catering
remember Breaks
suppliers in
Brothers,
the
the
UK.
deliveries in the UK. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. I
Yeah.
did my stint as a waitress, and the lorries turning up with the rolls of the hard-boiled egg. I mean, that was just
Oh no. Just
yeah.
so many wrong things there.
Yeah, no, we went to the cash and carry where my other half still has his card for just before Christmas to stock up, and yeah, it's completely a different world. Gourmet produce and
Mm.
stuff that you can't necessarily get elsewhere. So no, that's good to know. Right, well, thank you so much, Lucy. It's been really lovely chatting to you this morning. And despite our
And
sort
to
of
you.
our general technical issues, which we will try and resolve, I will try and resolve before the podcast gets out there. Thank you very much. Thank you to our listeners.
Thank you.
And thank you, as always, to our sponsors, Fab French Insurance, who will make your life as simple as Frenchly possible. I will be putting contact details for Lucy in the show notes. So if you've been listening to this and gently salivating at the thought of having a private chef, private catering, or you've got a big event coming up, maybe it's a wedding or 50th birthday, I'll put those in there. So do feel free to get in touch with Lucy. She sounds like she's super busy and doesn't need any more clients, but you never
Oh
know.
no, always. I love it. I love it.
All right, brilliant. Thanks, Lucy, and thank you for listening. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.